What's going on, people? Welcome to another Emotion Football live stream. My name is Alam, and today we have our second annual mock draft that we're doing using AI. I'll explain the process, but basically, I'm gonna try to take as much of my personal biases and opinions out of it to try to come up with the best mock draft that can be put together using all the best information out there. So, a bit of the process here. Um, Essentially, what I did is I gave the AI a big board that I think is pretty good, and also just generally an average of what some of the best big boards say. I've given it a couple articles about every team's draft needs, so that it gets an opportunity to understand what every team needs. And then the big thing that I gave it, which I don't see a lot of people talk about, I gave ChatGPT a list of the teams every player visited to. So if all the players on that big board, I gave it the range of, okay, this player visited with whoever's picking 10th to whoever picks 16th. So that gives them kind of a range of, again, just like expectation of where a player is supposed to go. And that's not necessarily always going to give you like completely perfect information. But at the end of the day, teams visit with players that they think are going to be there. Players visit with teams that they think have a chance to draft them. So there is something to be read there. And then the last thing I'm going to do for each and every single pick is I'm going to give it what I think the team's organizational philosophy is. So based on my understanding of what that team tends to do, what that team tends to like, I'm going to give the AI that final bit of information, and that's all it's going to work with. I told it no outside research, just the things that I'm giving you. So that's how we're going to do this mock draft. We're going to do a pick by pick, and the very last thing is I told it to propose trade up scenarios if it looks like a player is dropping that another team could really use. So that's what we're doing, people. Shout out to everybody in here. I see my guys King and Sai are here. Make sure you guys hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. We're going to get things started in a second. I got King on the stream with me. What's going on, man?
What's good?
Okay. I don't know if... Did you... Okay, you know what? We'll do Dexter Lawrence at the end of the draft. So we're going to do the mock draft now. Do you remember doing this last year?
Yes.
It was decent, right? Like we got one draft with lots of offensive linemen, and I think that's actually what happened.
But funny enough, it actually happened, yes.
Yes. So we might have to do a couple over and see how things go. All right, let's see what it's thinking. Sometimes the AI acts a little weird, and we have to get it back on track. So we're gonna go do one round and see if that's good enough, and if not, we'll tweak it. So what I'm gonna tell it for the Raiders is they have basically made it clear they're taking Mendoza. That's the philosophy. We don't have to waste too much time with pick number one. They're going Mendoza. Yep. So no trade proposal here. His visit range is exactly one. So the selection so far, Fernando Mendoza. Okay, draft philosophy for the Jets. All right, so I'm gonna tell it the Jets have a long-term. Actually, let me take the comment off. There we go. Have a long-term outlook on their team. There is no rush. They are building for the future. This team is likely taking the best player available with a slant to whoever has the highest ceiling long term. I think that's a pretty fair way to describe who the Jets are and what they need. Okay, Sire. Can't tell if it let you in or not, but I believe I've let inside to the stream as well. Nonetheless, ChatGPT says that the Jets are taking Arvell Reese. So there's no trade up proposal yet. And they went ceiling here. So it's kind of one of the articles I sent it talked about how how the Jets are basically deciding between Arvell Reese and David Bailey. Only spot lower on the board, but your highest ceiling song framing, Reese is the cleaner pick. Okay, that makes sense. Part of, again, what I think is going to be important for this team is the fact that.
Sorry, Alam, can you hear me right?
Yeah, you're good. Is the fact that the
Yeah.
Jets are absolutely in no rush. It does not matter, truthfully, what happens to them next year because they have 3 first-round picks for 2027. So, with all that said, Arvell Reese, the reason I would say he has a higher ceiling is because he's newer to the position. David Bailey has been and is a pass rusher. But if you're talking about a player like Arvell Reese, he's actually had limited exposure to the edge rusher position. There's just an understanding that he has a really, really high ceiling. And I think that's what would get him drafted to a team like the Jets, who, again, very early in their regime, really early in their tenure with this general manager and this coach. So Arvell Reese makes sense. Okay, for the Arizona Cardinals, this one is a little bit less clear to me of what the team wants to do. I don't know if you guys have an opinion. What do you guys think the Cardinals draft philosophy will be this year? The reason it's
They are a
complicated.
mess.
What's that?
They are a mess right now.
They're a mess because the problem is their coach is brand new, but their general manager has been there for 3 years, and he's obviously built a horrible team for 3 years. So it's like you have the guy picking the players is under pressure, but the guy coaching the team isn't under pressure. This is a completely disjointed organization. And actually, you know what? I'm just going to explain that to ChatGPT. I'm going to say
We don't know their philosophy, right? We
Yes.
don't know how the coach wants to play. He wants to play offense or he wants to play
Yeah.
defense. This is his first year. And by the way, if coach and GM disagrees, see, they need a lot. They need a defense. They need an offense also.
Yeah.
And by the way, are you comparing ChatGPT and Grok?
Maybe I could on another stream, but I haven't inputted all this stuff to Grok yet, and I don't know if that would take time or not. Maybe it would.
No, you can copy paste.
Hmm?
You can copy paste.
Okay, because can I attach files as well?
Yeah, you can attach files. What you did, same thing here.
Yeah.
You can do it same thing in a Grok.
Perfect. Okay, we'll do Grok after this. But the general manager has been there for a while and has not succeeded. However, the coach is new and is not under pressure. The timelines makes it hard to say what they will do. Offensive coaches tend to like going offense, but it's hard to say going best player available. Doesn't make the most sense. Okay, look, we told chat whatever we know. We're not going to feed it any bullshit. Okay.
The Cardinals select
David Bailey. Okay, so they go to their edge rusher. So far, chat is pretty in line. Again, I told it specifically to not do any outside research. Here's the players. Here's the team needs. I'll give you the philosophy. Go in order. Why Bailey is the pick. Split between offensive coach tendency and best player available. David Bailey is the cleanest compromise. Number 3 on the board. His visit range is 2 to 12. So he did visit with the Jets and the Cardinals, I think. Oh no, the Jets canceled the visit, but it's because they felt like they already knew everything they needed to know. Still needs more pass rush potency, blah, blah, blah. Offensive identity. So it's explaining why it didn't pick Ty Simpson and why it didn't go offensive line. Arizona's section points as a later developmental quarterback plan, but not number 3 overall. BPA. No, this makes sense. Okay, so Mendoza, Reese, and David Bailey. This is a very sensible mock draft so far. Now we get to the Tennessee Titans. This is where it gets interesting because I think they would love to go edge rusher, but the two value players at edge rusher have just been picked. So now what do you do? You know what? Okay, let's put it this way. Titans will
Titans likely,
right? No, I'm not asking you. Will likely want to win immediately because their GM is 2 years into his tenure and their coach lost a lot in New York. I think Tennessee will take a player that can help them win immediately to avoid losing too much early in Cam Ward's
Yeah.
There we go. Okay, so I think this makes sense, right? Like, the GM isn't new. They haven't traded a bunch of their picks into the future like the Jets have. Salah is not going to try to lose after all the losing he did. Like, I think this team is going to try to be good immediately. They've spent a lot of money like a team that wants to win. So the Tennessee to me is not like the Cardinals or like the Jets. I think Tennessee is a pretty clear we want to win now thing. So I'm going to.
They are not a tanking team. They are not tanking team. This year they want to finish at least top 6 or top 7 like that.
Yep. All right, so it's thinking. Pick number 4, Jeremiah Love.
Love.
So why Love
is expected.
You know what, ChatGPT? Fuck you.
You don't need Jeremiah Love.
See, why? I need Jeremiah Love. I will take it. We can
You
have
have
so many
plays. Kenneth Walker.
Yeah, he didn't say
I don't want. No. I don't want to sidetrack. I will speak about the Chiefs. Continue, Alan.
No, I was gonna say he didn't say the Chiefs need Jeremiah Love. He said he needs Jeremiah Love.
See, Chiefs need Jeremiah Love. Yeah.
Damn. Okay, we'll talk about that later. But yeah, all the information on why. So the other alternative was Sonny Styles and Carnell Tate, according to Chad. If Tennessee decides the best immediate impact on defense, Sonny Styles. Carnell Tate if they want a pass catcher. Ruben Bain if they think the front 7 is. But this is kind of why if Jeremiah Love probably ends up making sense because Ruben Bain is a bit of a reach. Carnell Tate at 4, like Carnell Tate is good.
That's a bit of a reach, especially since how's he gonna get Ward open if there's no line to help?
Yeah, and then
and one more thing is
with
Jeremiah Love and Robert Saleh, he will do well there. Definitely do well there.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's going to be great for Cam Ward. I think their offensive line, it's not as bad as the Giants or like the Raiders last year because we've seen Genty and Saquon both struggle behind bad offensive lines. I don't think Tennessee is that bad, but they're obviously not that good either. So if they go Jeremiah Love, I would like to see if they can go offensive line early in the second round. But at the same time, that would be a very offensive draft for a defensive coach. So Tennessee, obviously a team that needs a decent amount of help. But the thing is, they need a impact weapon because right now their receivers are a 30-year-old Calvin Ridley off multiple injuries, 2 rookie 4th-round picks from last year, Chimere Dike and I think Alec Ayamanor, crazy names. But the point is like they're good, they're decent players, but not impact players. And then they signed Wan'Dale Robinson. So it's like their offense has almost like filler role players. They need a superstar in their offense, and Jeremiah Love gives them that. So that kind of steers them in the right direction offensively. So that's the Titans. Now we have the Giants who have 2 picks in the top 5, the top 10. They just made the Dexter Lawrence trade last night. It was funny because Sai, you were saying 2 days ago that you wouldn't mind if the Chiefs traded 9th overall for Dexter Lawrence.
Yes,
and then the Bengals traded 10th overall for Dexter Lawrence. I'll say this.
I think the Giants face the Bengals.
Go ahead, Sai.
I will say this right. See, he's so good. They deserve it, by the way. If he goes, you see, for me, the trade was the trade is deserved. But I don't think Bengals don't do anything with it. If he goes to Chiefs or if he goes to another championship team, he will win championship ring. Is that good? But going
Yeah.
to Bengals, nah, I don't see that.
Because here's the thing, though, the Bengals are gonna have to pay him, Chase, and Burrow.
Yes.
Okay. Something I just want to point out about Dexter Lawrence, and I don't know why the fuck does it show pass coverage stats. Anyways, so this guy has played basically 16 games his whole career, except 2 years ago where he got 12, right? So pretty healthy guy. In his career, right, he always got a certain amount of sacks until last year. And even if you look at his tackle numbers dropped. This is the thing not a lot of people spoke about with Dexter Lawrence is that he actually had a down year last year. And obviously a big part of the reason of that was injuries. But the thing is like he's what does it say his age is?
He's
He's
probably in like his late 20s,
he's gonna turn
27,
29 in
26,
no, 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 no.
29.
Is a
25.
29-year-old 340-pound football player who just had a down year because of injuries. I'll be honest with you, I would be surprised if he achieves his peak at this point, like forward in his career. I still think he'll be a good player, but you're not getting peak Dexter Lawrence next year. I honestly, the problem is I think they paid peak Dexter Lawrence price. Like if you traded 10th overall for Dexter Lawrence in his prime, it makes sense because honestly, he was a phenomenal, like best nose tackle in football kind of a player. But I just think that like you're taking a big risk assuming that he's going to be healthy next year and be the exact same player that he was in his prime. So I'm a little bit scared for Cincinnati. I think they did too much. 10th, like I would have traded a second round pick to take a gamble on his health. But they paid a huge price. Now they already gave him his contract extension. They didn't get ripped off too much on that because they gave him a 1 year deal. So I think he had 1 year left. They added another year. But bro, I'll be honest. I think the Bengals did too much. I personally just
That's
think
what
they
I said.
really,
Yeah, that's I agree with. That's why I said you have to pick Chiefs because he's 29, right? That means you are getting at least two best years. That's it.
yeah.
2 or 3, mostly 3. Then you don't have to any. I don't see Bengals winning any championship in next 3 years.
You're right.
I don't see that.
You're right. And their ability to
And
get.
by the way, sorry, Alan. Sorry to
No,
really
go ahead,
cut you. By the way,
go ahead.
I think Joe Burrow will leave. There is no guarantee Burrow will stay there.
I mean, this
For me, that's why I said
contract-
you have to pick championship team.
Yeah, this contract plus this draft pick that they traded, it makes it much harder for them to get better on offensive line, which is what they needed to do as well. Like obviously their defense was horrible, but their offensive line needed work as well. So I think that the thing with the Giants is like the Giants still lost somebody that they have to replace, but 10th overall is great value.
Yes.
So I don't know if you guys saw the reports, but a lot of reporters are making it seem like they're going to take Jordan Tyson 10th overall. The Giants are. So it'll be interesting to see because basically I'm not going to say this to chat and chat's not listening unless chat is. No, I'm kidding. But people are making it seem like the 2 Giants picks are going to be Sonny Styles and Jordan Tyson, which
I was hearing Sonny Styles and Cornell Tate.
I think Tate goes before number 10, to be honest.
9th or 10th. So I will say 8th or 10th.
Here's the thing. I could see Cornell Tate going 6, 7, 8, or 9. Literally, all those teams could take a receiver.
Okay, 9
I
means
think
you were
they
seeing.
won't.
Okay.
But yeah, and the reason is just because basically the night before they made the trade, they met with Jordan Tyson. And again, the reporters made it seem like that's a thing. So we're not going to tell that to chat though. Okay, Giants picked 5th overall. What am I going to tell it? So the Giants have picks number 5 and 10. So they have 2 cracks at getting better. This is their first year with Harbaugh. 。  . 。  . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . who will likely have a lot of say. Harbaugh teams tend to be
Physical.
football teams. Between the GM being under pressure and Harbaugh's values, this team is looking to win immediately. All right. I think that's what chat needs to know. Strategy. I'm checking exactly how these two are. Okay. All right. Let's see what it cooks up. Also, I think I hear an echo in the back of Sai's audio.
Yeah, a little bit.
By the way, I have Magic Pistons on the TV screen in front of me.
Same, I do too. First of all, why the Magic actually making this a game?
Yo, Pistons are definitely letting them hang around. Oh shit!
Hello.
Number
Yeah, he
5.
drained that.
Carnell Tate. They took Carnell Tate at number 5.
At 5.
It's not a surprise though. It's not a surprise though. That is a good pick. If they take it, it's a good pick because they got a Jackson Dart. They got the offense. It will work. It will work.
Bro, Carnell Tate and Malik Neighbors is actually so sick. And then again, my question
Fantasy
at that
points,
point
man.
would be offensive
Fantasy
line.
points.
Oh, 100%. But between Dart, the running backs, those receivers, the offensive line is the only thing holding their offense back at this point. Plug breaker, detail later. Reinforce our line in both the CB room.
This is so good.
Why Tate over this? The Giants do need line help, but ESPN pretty explicitly said that they shouldn't fall faff around with the fifth when O-line guard value is better later. Sonny Styles is a very live pick for a Harbaugh team because of the physicality, and he would fit the win now angle, but ESPN frames linebacker as a need that could be addressed without forcing it here. While Tate, blah, blah, blah. Mansour Delane, corner is a real need, but he's lower on the board. Okay, shit, man. Tate, number 5 does make sense, man. I like it. So far, I like what we've done. Send me the philosophy for the picks. The Browns. Okay. The Browns have picks 6 and 24. They will. Okay. You know what? Okay. Here's what I'm going to say about the Browns. The thing about the Browns is they're not a team. Like, they are a team that should want to win now because their GM has been there for a while, right? They can't dilly-dally with Myles Garrett. Like, but the problem is their team is so shit they can't really be they literally can't win now. So how do you describe a team that wants to win now but probably is too shit to win now?
You can say in the core of the team they are looking to win now.
Yeah.
But due to some of the facilities and incompetence, they will probably look more to trying to develop for the future to get stronger.
With a GM that hasn't won in a long time, and hold on, an older coach, and Myles Garrett, who will only wait around for so long. The Browns will definitely want to win now. However, this roster needs so much work that it's hard to narrow
now
on any particular positions to win now. This is a win now. Hold on. This is a team that will want to win now, but realistically can't.
Yes.
There is a lot to consider. Okay.
Like that can work, yeah.
All right, let's see what it spits out. Again, the 6 and 24 does make sense. Yeah, I'm at a fork. at the Browns fork in the road now. True win now pressure versus a roster that still needs a broad repair. It'll be interesting to see like how they look at 6 versus 24.
Yeah. So 6th pick, the Cleveland Browns select. Damn, what a side. You left them wide open.
Monroe Freeling. Oh,
Freeland.
I've seen this. Okay, so this is the first tackle on the board. There's not really a consensus for offensive tackles. The closest thing to a consensus is Maui Goa from Miami. But the thing with Freeling is that I think Freeling is the player with the most athletic upside. The Browns do have an offensive tackle need because they traded. No, hold on. They were missed. They needed to replace 2, and they traded for one of the
They
Texans.
lost like their entire O-line this offseason.
Yeah, Browns, our lads. Let me see exactly where they're at right now. Do I have to turn ad blocker off? See, so right now, Titus Howard is the guy they traded for from Houston and then gave $20 million a year. DeJuan Jones at left tackle, yeah, that can't be the case. So it looks like left tackle is definitely a need. Monroe, like again, it's definitely a choice to pick Monroe Freeling over Maui Goa, or even over. I mean, at least Fano people think might have to play guard, but yeah, this is like this kind of is. I guess you
But
could say
look,
like
if it's the Cleveland Browns, they'll probably be just for like, but wait, just think of the potential we can unlock it, and they'll pick them. So I can see this happening.
Oh yeah. Is very direct. Wait on the quarterback. Prepare for QB development. Aggressively invest in the offensive line. I love the rumors of Monroe Freeling at 6. So this is a mild reach based on pure ranking, but one is clearly supported by the team's specific article guidance on the roster, on the Browns roster. A team under pressure often talks itself into a splash pick, but the Cleveland's best path to winning sooner is probably stabilizing the offense structurally. Why not Sonny Styles? He would be BPA. But the Browns don't need a linebacker because they drafted Schlesinger last year. Why not Makai Lemon? Very live pick. The Browns need says Cardinals. It would be marvelous pick if available. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen Makai Lemon mocked as high as 6. Also, they could probably go receiver at 24 as well. Okay, for number 7, which is the Commanders. The Commanders had one of the oldest rosters last year. They weren't good. And this year, they only have 2 top 100 picks. This team has to be strategic about its early picks because they are the only shots at getting young premium
talent.
This isn't quite a build for the future
team.
of Daniels, but they might have to be patient because of the holes on their roster. Okay. Two articles. Okay, based on how this draft has gone, I wouldn't be surprised if this is Carnell Tate, Mansour Delane, or even Sonny Styles. To be honest, I can't see them going.
Maybe this is Caleb Downs.
Okay, they took a very elite defensive player. Definitely, like it's not like they don't need a safety / slot corner. So yeah, this definitely makes sense. Dan Quinn is a defensive head coach. Yeah, absolutely. This could be the case. It's definitely good value. Caleb Downs is amazing. So, man, I like this mock so far because like it's not like necessarily chalk, but all of it is reasonable and fair. ESPN is unusually direct here. We should trade back. Blah blah blah. Why not trade back? Would be a trade back for if downs were gone. Okay, so Commanders took downs. Going with the Saints. The Saints are another tough one to talk about because I don't know if, like, I don't know if they. I mean, you know what? No, I take it back. If they signed ETN, I don't think you sign a big money running back and you're not trying to win now. So I do think they're going to try to win. They feel like they found their quarterback. Kellen Moore probably isn't going to want to lose 2 years in a row. Last year was their rebuilding year. So I think the Saints are going to try to win now. I don't know.
especially since the division they're in, they're probably thinking, look, if the division usually isn't the best,
Oh,
if
yeah.
we get our pieces right, we can win this. Are they
Yeah.
the worst of the four? Yes, but they still need hope.
The Saints will be looking to compete this year. Looking to be as good as possible this year. Honestly, I think that's all there really is to say. Yeah, the Saints will be looking to be as good as possible this year. Yeah, this one isn't that complicated. Let's see what they get. Here's our best defender left. And pick 8 to the Saints is Makai Lemon. Okay, so Tate and Lemon are now off the board. They go receiver. The Saints definitely need a receiver. I think their receivers right now are just Chris Olave and just like some random guys. And obviously, as much as Chris Olave stayed healthy last year, with his concussion history, I'm always going to be a little bit skeptical. Like, I don't feel like you can just rely on him. But even with a healthy Chris Olave, you still need a number 2. So Makai Lemon gives Kellen Moore another weapon. He's the kind of like, he gets a lot of Amon-Ra comparisons, and sometimes comparisons aren't like the best thing, but I think the things that make him similar to Amon-Ra is that you're not necessarily looking at a receiver that's going to burn you down the field on these deep routes, but he's somebody who's going to cook you in the intermediate part of the field, man. He's great at getting open, great at making himself an easy target for quarterbacks. He can take a lot of short passes and get more out of them. So it's a good
great playmaker.
Exactly. Great kind of safety blanket to have for a young quarterback that you might want to make life easy for. So Makai Lemon to the Saints, definitely makes sense. I wonder who the other candidates were: Bain, Jordan Tyson, and Mansour Delane. Now that makes sense. Okay. Hey, Sai, we're giving the philosophy for the Chiefs. You've seen the players off the board. So what do you think you would say to Chad about this Chiefs pick?
See, it's different from other teams, right?
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Because other teams are they're trying to win, but we are trying to win Super Bowl.
Yep.
It will different. What I will say was they're holding a strong draft capital.
Yeah.
Including number 9 and number 40.
Yeah.
Overall picks, and plus the 40 picking second round and several more selections give them a flexibility to rebuild key areas while keeping their Super Bowl window open under Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
That is why that is what I will give.
Okay, I'll say this. The Chiefs aren't just trying to win or to be good next year. Trying to win a Super Bowl. They have picks. It's 9 and 30, right? No, 9 and
29.
9 and 29 in this draft.
Round one.
Yeah, in round 1 of this draft, and they have one of the greatest QBs of all time under contract for like what 10 years for like 8 years.
Yeah, 7, 8 years. Yes.
So they have an urgency to win in Kelsey's last couple years, but also the reality that they will never have this much draft capital again, most likely. So
No,
this is a
no.
unique
This is the first time.
chance to uh, reload the roster. This is a
And
good.
mentioned Mahomes ACL also. It's have to that.
So what would you want me to say about it?
I will add Mahomes is coming from a pre-ACL injury.
Oh, fun fact, not from the US. Even though somebody live streaming about the NFL is a very American thing to do, I'm Canadian. All right. And then so you just want me to be like Mahomes, like just Mahomes is coming back from an ACL injury?
Yeah, that's it. Yes. Keeping in mind, Mahomes is coming from a ACL injury.
Back from an ACL injury. Oh, so factor this into the general plan.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah,
perfect.
that's it. Yeah.
There it goes. There it goes. Chat, work your wonders. Okay, it's thinking. It's thinking. Francis Mauigoa.
Fuck off, man.
Chiefs philosophy is 2 layers. Win a Super Bowl now. Mahomes is coming off. Bro, this is kind of what you did with the ACL thing, though.
Yeah.
Make protection and even higher importance. Even if edge and receiver are real needs, the cleanest way to support a Super Bowl push is to make sure the offense stays structurally sound around him. Francis Maui
I agree with that.
is 6th overall, so getting him at 9th is excellent value. Kansas City's roster has major defensive issues, but it also explicitly says that the Chiefs should strike if Maui Goa is there at 9, while not needing to force receiver or right tackle otherwise. And that defensive tackle help might still be there at 40. Mentions Tyson going 9th in a mock context, acknowledges blah, blah, blah. Both would be understandable for a defense. That ESPN.
Called the worst of the Mahomes era.
Yeah. I mean, last year it must have been. The Chiefs go back-to-back years drafting offensive tackles to give Patrick Mahomes 2 amazing offensive tackles to pair with Trey Smith and Creed Humphrey. I think the suggestion here is to make sure that Mahomes, off an ACL tear, has a good offensive line. The other thing it wouldn't talk about here is that having this an offensive line like this would also help you get the most out of K9. So this gets you a clean pocket for Mahomes, gets you a running game that makes Mahomes' job easy. So in a situation like this, you probably have to use picks 29 and 40 on defense, but this gives Mahomes a chance to have a very easy time using his weapons. You just got to hope that Rashee Rice, Xavier Worthy, and Tyquan Thornton plus Kelsey is enough in the air. But yeah.
And one more thing you had that right. See, for me, if Love is not there, the perfect will be Rupenbein Jr.
Mm-hmm.
I need him. And by the way, people forgetting that we let go of 2 corner, we let go of 2 CBs.
Yeah.
Trent McDuffie is not there.
So basically, I could see them going corner here, but every time I've done a mock draft, there's always good corners at 29. So
you telling?
Yeah.
Mansur Delaney, right?
That's block.
Yeah, that would be the pick if they went 9. But even at 29, there's a good amount of players available for at cornerback. But yeah.
Wait, you think Mansur Delaney will in top 10?
I don't think so. I think he'll be, but I don't think he'll last too much longer. Like, I don't think he gets past Cowboys. So I think the lowest he could go is Cowboys at 12.
See, I think he will go around 15.
Interesting. I mean, yeah, maybe Dallas goes somewhere else. Okay, 1 second. For the Giants pick at 10, copy paste everything I said before, LOL. Keep in mind they already took Carnell Tate at
Hey,
5.
yep.
Everything I said before for the pick at number 5. Okay. Let's see what the Giants get for Dexter Lawrence. You know what's, oh shit, they could still get to Sonny Styles.
Yeah.
Oh, this draft worked out phenomenally for the Giants because they didn't have to. Because if they took Styles at 5, I don't think they would have gotten.
Sonny Styles. Yep.
I don't think they would have gotten Tate at 10 because I think Tate would have gone to New Orleans. But this way, it would be interesting to see if they do this. You take Tate at 5, you can get Sonny Styles at 10. So, bro, if they leave with 2 Ohio State players, Tate and Sonny Styles, that's a haul. That's a haul in day one.
Well, after you finish this all, go back to Chiefs selection and remove the pre-ACL. I want to see the opinion changes or not.
Okay, see, interesting. I feel like that made a difference. Okay, Dolphins one is a very easy call for me. So okay, Dolphins are aggressively rebuilding. So they are taking a long-term approach. This pick will likely be a high ceiling pick. Heavily favoring BPA. The other thing to consider are the words of the GM.
Changing their philosophy to be more physical.
The GM said that one way to address Miami's cold weather issues is to build a physical team. He specifically said fast gets slow, but big doesn't become small.
Boss.
Yep.
Man.
Bro, it was a sick quote. He said fast becomes slow, but big doesn't become small, and strong never becomes weak. I was like, holy shit. What a fucking great quote. So
I'm like, yo, bro was low-key cooking.
Bro, this is why I'm actually like, yo, because the Dolphins owner hired Troy Aikman to be of input on the GM and the coach. And I think their GM might be, based on this quote alone, his aura points are pretty high.
Alam, I can understand the context, but if you see that is a big pause. The way he's saying it's pause.
Hey, I'm telling you, bro, football and basketball are horrible sports for that, bro. All right. Okay, there we go.
But here's the thing, though. If the Dolphins do fail, that means they're gonna be big things can be small.
I was gonna absolutely, bro. Absolutely. They also have pick number 30.
We got 5 top 100 picks. Okay. I forgot how many picks we got this year.
The Steelers?
Yeah, we have 5 top 100 and like 9 to 10 in total.
Mm-hmm. Yo, Ruben Bain stays in Miami. Yep. He fits the criteria of obviously physical, and like it makes sense for that as well.
Can you give the why not Chiefs? I want to see the reason here.
I don't think it gave why. I don't think it's going to give a reason of why not Chiefs. It's going to give a reason for. So the alternatives were Tyson, Fennell, and Delaney, and it just gives the reasons for why not them. Oh, do you want me to go to the Chiefs' reason for why they didn't pick?
Yeah. Yes. I want to know that reason. Yeah.
Wait, what? 9. Oh, for the Chiefs, why not Bain? Oh, both were understandable for a it just said that like wait, what? Honestly, it didn't say much about why not. It just said that those were the candidates defensively.
Yeah. See, for me, ChatGPT is wrong for with my team.
Hey, okay, we'll go back and fix the ACL thing later. But yeah, Ruben Bain is number 11. Okay, Cowboys number 12. Dallas had an awful defense last year.
No, you can say that this is the shit team. They don't. The owner don't know what he's doing. And
Yeah.
run me what they want. That's it.
Okay. Dallas had an awful defense last year. Jerry Jones will always Jerry Jones. They also have pick
for the
number,
stalls in media.
they also have pick number 20. I think this is good enough.
Yeah, that's good enough.
You were wasted too many words, man. See, even ChatGPT doesn't want to say.
Yeah. I'll make sure to pull in the right info. Thinking. Mansour no, that makes sense. That makes sense.
That makes sense.
They have to go defense. Honestly, if they don't go defense twice, they're fucking stupid. Which means, hold on. Oh, trade up options to consider. The Steelers at 21 would make some sense to trade up for Spencer Fano. If they think their preferred right tackle will disappear before
the pick,
I would still reject the trade here for Dallas with the board falling this way. Cowboys should use this. Okay, so see, this is what I told Chat to do. I told Chat that if there's a player falling and it looks like there's a team that's perfect for the player, propose the trade ups before every pick. So it hasn't done that up to this point, but for the first time, it's suggesting maybe the Steelers trade up for some offensive line help. I agree with rejecting a trade here because Dallas doesn't need to trade back because they already have a pick at 20. Like they need to take players. If anything, Dallas would trade up. So I don't think that they would take a trade back with Pittsburgh here.
Yeah.
We also looked at Pittsburgh's offensive line issues when we did our last mock draft, and we determined that they would need a guard. That being said, Fano is actually he was an elite offensive tackle in college, but he has the Will Campbell short arms. The only difference is he actually also played guard. So the understanding is that Fano is going to be like an elite guard. If he plays at tackle, he might be good, but he's probably good. He's also played center. So it's like Fano, if you want interior line help, is probably going to be great. And Pittsburgh could use a left guard. So Fano and Pittsburgh does make sense. Yeah, this just is not the trade spot.
I've also heard that another good player for us would be the Penn State guard.
Yes, yeah, another great. So those are the two great guard options, both still on the board. Interesting for Chat to propose this trade. But yeah, we're off to a pretty good start. Delane makes sense for Dallas. Number 13, the LA Rams. Rams are in a Super Bowl window. They have traded away a lot of draft capital. This is one of their golden chances to add a young talent that could help them win a Super Bowl. Okay, I think that's enough. That's good enough for 13.
Off topic,
Yeah.
Wagner changed Magic season, by the way.
For sure, bro. They're actually giving Detroit a headache right now.
Yes, they're playing well, by the way. They're shooting well. See, I'm seeing Paul Bachara eating threes, by the way.
Yo. So it took Fano right here. That makes the trade up to 12.
God damn it.
The proposal makes sense. Here's the thing that I feel like a lot of people don't talk about, right? Everybody's making it seem like the Rams' way of winning now is to go receiver. Their right tackle retired and they didn't sign anybody to replace him. They do have a right tackle issue, and you obviously aren't going to win a Super Bowl with an old immobile quarterback and a bad right tackle. So that kind of always seemed strange to me how nobody is talking offensive line. This makes a ton of sense. Yo, we got fucking voting propaganda in the chat right now. Shout out to those 2 channels that had to subscribe to be in the chat though. But I'm American and Sai is Indian, so you're actually only dealing with King. But no, King is not a part of the We the Vote project. He's not. Trust me.
Yeah.
Rams are one of the league's best, blah, 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 blah. They should draft now, ideally a tackle, receiver, or linebacker to replace Rob Havenstein. Bro, chat knows ball. Planning ahead. Okay, Fano over Tyson if they wanted to get receiver. Argues that instead of forcing receiver at round 1, should take a tackle. Jermod McCoy, Anthony Hill. Man, no way they're taking a linebacker this high. Jermod McCoy, no, they already got defensive help. Best alternatives, Kenyon Sadiq and Jermod McCoy. Kenyon Sadiq would be crazy, though, because they have 3 tight ends. They literally led the league in 3 tight end formations. So they have 3 guys they like, man. Like, they're not going tight end. But chat knows ball. Chat knows ball for sure. Okay, Baltimore Ravens at number 4.
Ravens. Surprise. Would have been cool if Peter was here. We could have probably got some stuff from him.
Yep.
Big up picking. I had to head out. Gym time. Head out. Big up.
All right.
I will be in the chat.
Hell yeah, bro. Hell yeah. See you later. Baltimore is in a new era for the first time. This is not a rebuilding kind of organization. They are trying to win ASAP. Yeah, this is an interesting call with Baltimore, though, because, again, we have a brand new coach on defense and a very young, inexperienced offensive coach without much of a resume. So what the fuck Declan Doyle wants to do offensively, none of us have any clue. So it's hard to draw conclusions about, like, would they like Kenyon Sadiq? Would they not like Kenyon Sadiq? Peter seemed to think that Kenyon Sadiq is going to be the pick here. Because they let Likely go and they've kind of always had 2 tight ends. I think Kenyon Sadiq would be better than Mark Andrews almost immediately.
Yeah.
So that one's interesting.
So it's signing twice for Ridley.
Here goes the guard.
Hey, man. Yeah.
I've seen a lot of stuff about the guard going to Baltimore, by the way. So guards go back to back, offensive linemen go back to back. The bit of a run going here. I don't know if they have. Oh, they didn't tally the picks at the end. The alternative here was Keldrick Falk, interestingly enough, but yeah, they're interesting. Okay, so Tampa Bay hasn't truly been a contender for a while, and their GM plus coaching staff has been around for the whole time. This team will want to win ASAP. All right, let's see what it comes up with. Tampa, I kind of think that this year is not going to go well for Tampa because I just think that this is the Todd Bowles era is supposed to end here. Akeem Messidor. Okay, so another edge rusher goes. Both the Florida edge rushers stay. The Miami edge rushers stay in Florida.
Yeah.
This team could definitely use an edge. That part makes sense. You know why I think Messidor is the pick here, given what we said, is because we said win now and he's 24, right? So it's like this Messidor isn't a developmental piece that needs a couple years. But when you're a 24-year-old rookie, like you're supposed to be able to play immediately, and he is. So this definitely makes sense in terms of the fact that, like, if you're looking for snaps as a rookie, Messidor is set up for that nicely. There are questions over how high his ceiling is, considering that he is 24, but Messidor to Tampa makes sense. They could definitely get better at that spot.
And also, Todd Bowles is the defensive guru, so give him
Yeah.
another piece to play with.
Yep. Perfectly makes sense. Again, the alternatives here were Jordan Tyson, Jamal McCoy, and Keldrick Falk. So 16 are the New York Jets. So this is the Jets' second pick. They picked Arvel Reese at 2. Take exactly what I said before that pick and apply it here as well. So I think if they don't go Jordan Tyson here, it's a shame. And Arvel Reese and Jordan Tyson together would be some pretty solid. Would be pretty solid. Now, a team like the Jets could always go offensive line, but I think of the offensive line run has kind of made it so that's not good value. For the Jets to get, again, highest ceiling, best value, I'm thinking that's either Jordan Tyson, maybe Jermod McCoy, but that's where I think the value is here. And they go Jordan Tyson. No, that's unreal for them. Again, his issue is injury stuff. He had a really bad knee injury in college and is kind of dealing with the lingering effects of because he tore up like hella ligaments in his knee, right? And then when you recover from that surgery and you're playing football, you tend to get stuff like hamstring injuries and stuff like that. So he's in that phase. And the way NFL teams are looking at it is like, they think that there's a small chance that these injuries might linger or like he might not be completely 100% going forward. Like they're dealing with that type of doubt. But if magically you could just make those doubts disappear, his tape is amazing. He's a really good football player. And him and Garrett Wilson is a hell of a 1-2 punch that's going to be wasted by Geno Smith. But the idea is that you're going to be handing a great pair of receivers to potentially Arch Manning or whoever you like at the top of the draft next year. So that is the understanding here. I want to see the alternatives were Omar Cooper Jr., Jermod McCoy, and Keldrick Falk. So Keldrick Falk and Jermod McCoy are probably coming off the board pretty soon. No trade-up proposals yet. Okay, Detroit Lions. Want to win now. Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes. Value. Physicality. Detroit has to go Caden Proctor here. Oh, they went Blake Miller. All right, so they went a different offensive tackle. Caden Proctor falls a little more. A lot of hold on. There's a trade-up consideration. Teams like the Steelers or Chargers could think about coming up for offensive line help, but I would reject the trade here if I'm Detroit. The Lions have a clear win now thing. The thing is that like the offensive lineman here, you're talking about Miller, Proctor, the guy from Arizona State. I don't know if there's a huge gap between these players outside of maybe Proctor. And the only thing that would make Proctor different is that Proctor is fucking huge. Like, so if your scheme requires massive 370-pound offensive linemen, then Proctor is going to make more sense. And I think the Lions, like, they're that kind of a football team and that kind of an offense. So I'm just surprised to see Proctor's not I think that's what I was kind of trying to get ChatGPT to go here, but they definitely need a right tackle because Penei Sewell is moving to left tackle and they don't have a right tackle as of now. So Blake Miller would step in and be used immediately. Very clear. They need a refurbished offensive line. I mentioned tackle names. Blake Miller is the preferred option because he has been more consistent than some of the other tackle candidates. So the thing with Blake Miller is that some people say he doesn't have a huge ceiling. But the thing is, he's played 52 games in college. Like, he's played way more football at a high level than a lot of the other tackles. So he's seen as like a safe pick, like a high floor. You're getting a good player, but he might not be like an all-pro, best in the league kind of a player. What I think is interesting about that is that kind of sounds like Taylor Decker to me, right? The Lions had Taylor Decker as their offensive lineman, a first-round pick who played good football for 10 years, but nobody would ever talk about as like one of the best players at the position, a Pro Bowler, an All Pro. Like he never got that kind of hype necessarily. But Taylor Decker obviously was a good football player that stuck around for a while. So similar kind of pick in some ways. But Blake Miller goes to Detroit. Why Miller over Proctor? He says that Proctor isn't a reliable day one player while praising Miller's consistency for a win now team. Edge 2 is a real need. So Keldrick Falk was the other consideration. Pick number 18. Who is pick number 18? Off memory, I forgot.
Let me try.
2026.
18. I think that's the
Vikings.
Yeah, it is Vikings. Yeah.
The Vikings fired their general manager in the middle of the off season, and
I forgot they did that.
Consequently, have barely done anything. Outside of signing Kyler Murray,
Yep.
the rest of their needs are largely not addressed. With KOC and Kyler in place, they will be looking to win this year. So a lot of people mock them taking a safety to replace Harrison Smith. I think they have much bigger needs than safety, but at the same time, there are some great safeties in this draft. So some different places. Yep, there it is. They have them taking the white safety to replace the white safety. Out goes Harrison Smith. In comes Dylan Thieneman. So he has a lot of fans around the NFL. Very highly rated safety from the Oregon defense. That was a big part of the reason that Oregon was good. And yeah, that's this is a very widely mocked player. So Dylan Thieneman goes to Minnesota. I believe Carolina is 19. Yes, Carolina is 19. The Panthers are fresh off their first playoff berth in a while and will surely look to build on that. This is a win now kind of spot for them. Hey, so the general manager here specifically said, because somebody asked him about, hey, you took receivers in back-to-back years in the first round because they took Leggett and Tetairoa McMillan. And he's like, there's no rules against doing it 3 years in a row. So, I mean, fucking Leggett being a scrub might be the reason they have to go receiver 3 years in a row in the first round. So interesting to see if chat has them going Omar Cooper or Casey Concepcion or one of those kind of players. Kenyon Sadiq. Holy, I'd never even thought of this. Let's see something. Panthers, our lads. Yeah, you know what? That makes sense. Their tight ends aren't like world beaters or anything. Jatavian Sanders and Tommy Tremble. Yeah, that doesn't leave me thinking that they absolutely have to go something other than tight end. Kenyon Sadiq can come in and literally be the kind of receiving help that they need without being the third receiver they take in a row. T-Mac and Kenyon Sadiq would, I think, be very, very helpful for Bryce Young. So interesting. I haven't seen Sadiq to the Panthers, but that's a very solid pick. He got kind of close to the Eagles here. I don't know if the Eagles have the roster to where they could trade up for a tight end. But if Sadiq fell to 23, I would love him in Philly. Dallas Cowboys. Dallas. Repeat of everything I said. before they picked at 12th over. Oh. Jermon. Oh, hold on. Well, it looks aggressive, but also fits the reality that the defense need multiple. Shit, dude, this is they went full Jerry Jones here, going corner back to back. Hold on, is their corner situation that ass? It might be.
It's just DaRon Bland and who else?
And DaRon Bland has kind of been cheeks ever since the major injury. So right now, it's Siobhan Ravel, who's okay last year, Kobe Durant. You know what? I still kind of, I'm going to let ChatGPT cook because this is very much Jerry Jonesing, and that's what we told it. But I can't see this happening this way. Hold on. Do you want it to have to fix this pick? Because we can edit it to make it do a redo. I can say repeat of everything I said before they picked 12th overall. Keep in mind they already took Mansour Delane. Okay, if it still says Jermon McCoy, we'll let it cook. Otherwise, I think that's a lot. Holy shit, it's doubling down. It's saying, yo, Jerry Jones is a wild motherfucker.
I mean, you're the Eagles fan, I'm the Steelers fan. If you both find it funny, let's let it slide.
But you know what's funny too is that the Eagles kind of did something similar 2 years ago where they took Quinyon Mitchell and then Cooper DeJean pretty early in the second. So Cooper DeJean, I think, was like the 8th pick in the second round. So it's like a similar. I mean, that was really aggressive, but the Eagles needed it. Shit, man. Maybe this is the
Dallas needs it, then yeah, Lamar. Maybe that's probably part of the reason too. It's like, wait, the Eagles did it and they won a Super Bowl.
Wait. And I just saw the other layer to it. The Cowboys defensive coordinator is from Philly. Not only is he from Philly, he was the Eagles secondary coach. For those of you guys who don't know, Christian Parker, the guy who they hired to be their defensive coordinator, he's been the secondary coach in Philadelphia for multiple years. So I guess this is like, I don't even know if Chat cooked that up on purpose, but yeah, this is feeding their defensive coordinator his position room and him replicating what he had in Philly with 2 talented rookies. Damn. Very interesting suggestions here. Okay, 21 is Pittsburgh or 21 is Pittsburgh. Okay, what do you want to say?
Okay, there's a lot that I could go with this. I'm going to say this. Sorry. As the host of the NFL draft, the teams and fans are all hoping and looking for a new future without Mike Tomlin being their head coach. We were originally thinking of finally fixing our slowly developing offensive line, but due to the picks, we will probably look for something more physical, more of a win now, mostly to bolster up this still great but aging defense.
Team is looking to win now with new coach Mike McCarthy. Team has hold on, I always say a QB need that might not be fixable at 21. An O-line that could be upgraded and an aging defense. Okay. I think that's fine.
Yeah.
Yo, Orlando's really about to snatch game 1.
They absolutely are.
My goodness, bro.
Hayden Proctor.
Ooh,
I don't hate that.
Caden Proctor, Pittsburgh's that's you get a guy with flexibility here, right? Because he could play either tackle spot literally athletic enough to get the ball, right? So if he's athletic enough to get the ball, then he's athletic enough to fucking play in like a scheme that requires him to move quite a bit, or he's 370 pounds, so he can play in a physical scheme if need be. Players as big as him tend to not be guards, so I don't know if he has that guard flexibility, but I've seen some people talk about him potentially playing guard. Here's the range. Should avoid in the quarterback with a focus on offensive tackle. So yeah,
D-line or wide receiver. All three make sense.
Ty Simpson, but he's number 3 on the board and has no defined visit range, so taking him here would be a major reach. Why Proctor over Keldrick Falk? At Pittsburgh, Proctor's a cleaner mix of value, range, and immediate help. Offensive line is the easier way to support a win now coach. Why not Omar Cooper Jr. is live for Pittsburgh in a McCarthy offense, but with a QB situation unsettled. Improving the line first is the more stable, low variance move. That makes a ton of sense. Simpson only if Pittsburgh is far more convinced than the board suggests. By the way, basically, Daniel Jeremiah essentially said that like the league, most of the people in the NFL think that Ty Simpson is pretty guaranteed he's going to Arizona. It's just a matter of when they take him. So do they take him at the beginning of the second, the beginning of the third? But most people think that like Ty Simpson is going to be a Cardinal. So that's that, people. Chargers at number 22. Chargers are looking to win now, but they have a lot of turnover at the coordinator spots. Oh, the pick is Chase Besantis. What the fuck? Okay, this is the next guard to go. I've seen him mocked here once before. There's no guarantee Besantis goes in the first round. This is a bit of a reach. Let's see what it says here. ESPN is very direct. They have a strong young offensive coordinator, but they need offensive line to match with a particular emphasis on guard. It says Ione likely won't make it to 22. It is too early for Besantis or Rutledge, but the overall message is basically take an offensive lineman anyway. Draft a good guard and then draft another guard. The Chargers will need to get healthier and deeper along the offensive line, blah, blah, blah. Besantis is 41, so this is a reach on pure value, but it's the clearest for a team trying to win now. Why not Omar Cooper Jr.? Why not Keldrick Falk? Best alternatives. But shit, so the Chargers here reach on a guard that they desperately need because, again, they do have Rashawn Slater and Joe Alt, but they don't have guards. They signed a center already.
And also constant injuries on the O-line. So
Yep.
you're like, okay, let's just get some depth here.
And the key thing here is that, I mean, maybe I would consider a trade down spot for the Chargers here if they're looking
For guards, yeah.
Yeah. Well, if they're looking for Besantis, they could trade down and probably still get him at like the top of the second or at the end of the first. Maybe the next time I do this, I'll tell chat that if you have a team taking a player that's maybe a little bit of a reach, you can mock a trade down. But yeah, interesting to for this pick to be Besantis. All right, Eagles. The Eagles are definitely trying to win now. But with question marks surrounding their wide receiver 1 and OC, it is undetermined what drafting for now means. All right, let's see what this pick is.
Eagles.
Okay, anybody but Denzel Boston. Denzel Boston is the only player I do not want the Eagles to take at 23. I've seen that mocked a couple times. I fully hate that shit with my whole heart. Keldrick Falk. So the thing with Falk is he kind of, and this is something that it's impossible for me to put in give to chat. Falk is like a huge edge rusher. His profile as an edge rusher might be that of a player that should kick inside as either a defensive tackle or like I don't know if everyone's
So
gonna
a
get what I mean, but
pure bulky power rushing edge.
yeah, power rushing edge like a 5 technique, right? That kind of a player, a defensive end in a 3-4. He looks like that kind of a player. The Eagles, in theory, they need that kind of a player, but the reason they need it is because they like smaller, more athletic edge rushers, right? So it's like that's something that it's up to Vic Fangio to determine what he wants. Because Jalen Phillips, the defensive end they traded for, he's kind of similar to this. Like he's a grown man, like a big physical edge rusher, right? That's something we didn't have. It was nice to get the missing piece. We obviously lost him in free agency. I just don't know. Like that's a new thing for the Eagles to do, bro. Nolan Smith is small and athletic. Jalen Hunt is small and athletic. Josh Sweat was smaller and athletic. It'll just be yet to be determined, like if they're now leaning into bigger, powerful edge rushers or not. But I don't know. If you mocked this to them last year, I would say guaranteed no, they don't take this player. Now I'm a little bit undetermined, but I'll live with it. Like decent value. Browns picked at 6 already, taking Monroe Freeling. Copy paste everything I said before that pick while factoring in that they took Freeling. Omar Cooper Jr. So they go receiver. So Browns go back-to-back offense here. Primarily, I guess the assumption here is that they're looking to help their quarterback, whoever it is. It looks like they're going to have an open competition basically between Shedeur and Deshaun Watson. So we'll see how that fucking goes.
Great. I can't wait to hear that all over off season.
Your audio's muffled. I can barely hear you.
I was like, oh, great. Can't wait to hear all of that during the beginning of the preseason.
Yep. But yeah, Omar Cooper Jr. I get it. I think you know what, this is probably the best receiver they could take at this point because I talked about it with the Browns. The reason why I like receiver for them is the fact that they need an alpha receiver because the rest of their receiving core is built to function around an alpha. Like if you have this is the hypothetical I throw around. If you put AJ Brown on the Browns, right? He's your number 1, and then Jerry Jeudy is fine as a 2, and then Isaiah Bond is good as a deep threat as your 3, and Cedric Tillman could be like your physical possession player as a 3. Like you have 2 options at 3 that are different. So it's like their receiving core makes sense if you drop an alpha into it, but if you drop another receiver that's like a 2 or a 3, now you kind of just have what the Packers have had, right? And I don't think anyone should be aiming for that. So I say that all to say, I think if whenever I've seen Casey Concepcion mocked here, I've hated it because I don't think he's the right player. Whenever I've seen Denzel Boston here, I'm like, there's too much overlap between him and Cedric Tillman. Omar Cooper, I think at least gives them a fair shot at he might be that number 1 receiver. So I don't hate it, but I also think that like for me, I like the Browns taking receiver at 6 and tackle at 24 versus the other way, especially because again, look what they did. They took Monroe Freeling, right? Like there's a chance you could take one of the other tackles because the tackle from Arizona State is still available, and then somebody like a Carnell Tate or Jordan Tyson, Mekhi Lemon. I much rather would do that, but chat disagrees. So Omar Cooper to the Browns. The Bears are looking to build on their great year from last year. from what I know of his tenure in particularly care about positional value in the draft, just about getting great players. Emmanuel McNeil Warren. This makes sense because they have lost some safeties. This is a win now kind of a move in terms of getting a good player at the expense of positional value. Lomu and Ayanakor were under consideration. Casey, no way. Ty Simpson, no way. Crazy alternatives, but Lomu, Ayanakor, not with the fact that they got Braxton Jones back. So I think Emmanuel McNeil Warren, like I think the thing with the Bears is they either go defensive line or safety. Hell yeah, bro. Well, I'll see you around then, man. Shout out to everybody in here. Make sure you guys hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. I'll be streaming the draft with Caden, and it'll be a pretty great time.
And I'll be there. Who knows? Maybe I'll make a surprise pop-up.
Ooh, fancy. The Bills are number 26. The Bills have a new coach and are under immense pressure to win now. That's all they need to know. Let chat cook up. Let chat cook up beyond that. CJ Allen. Hold on. Team chasing an offensive lineman falling, but if Buffalo stays put, no, you know what? They could take CJ Allen. They could go linebacker. They need one. So the Bills go CJ Allen. They're replacing someone here. I forget. Oh, they lost Milano, no? So then this is a Milano replacement. We're gonna leave it at that. The next pick are the Niners. The Niners are obviously looking to win now, but with a history of injury issues, they might consider bolstering an already strong position if the value is right. That being said, they also have real needs that need addressing too. All right, let's see what gets cooked up here. Caleb Lomu. Lomu makes sense a lot. They need to have they need to bolster the offensive line. Even if it's not a starter, they could use some depth because Trent Williams is old as hell. He missed some time last year. The older he gets, the more you can the more it's reasonable to expect him to miss some time. So yeah, I definitely don't think this is a what the hell is going on in this Spurs game? Wild things are on my screen. But yeah, Lomu to the Niners definitely makes sense. Very very reasonable mock draft thus far. Texans are under pressure not as a coach or GM, but more under not because they are a bad organization, but because their window of cheap young talent under rookie contracts is running out. So they will need to keep that in mind. But the need to pay existing players will likely also inform what position they have to draft in order to get cheap talent. Okay. Let's see what it cooks up. What's going on, Jared? End of the stream, but we cooked up a pretty good one, man. I'm probably gonna finish up in the next 10 minutes or so. But if you're around, this would definitely be a good one to listen to. Shout out to the 7 people watching live. Make sure you guys hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Jared is perfectly in time for chat to give us the Texans pick. Oh yeah, huge win, bro. Huge win for the Magic. But yeah, this is perfect for them, man. The Texans get the last decent offensive lineman on the board. And that'll be pretty great for them, I think. Ian Akor, I haven't heard of him having guard or center versatility, so this is definitely a tackle prospect. But I believe his name was Blake Fisher, I think. They have another offensive tackle that could be moved inside. So yeah, they should be taking all the help they can get. Obviously, they traded away Tunsil. So as an organization, they can't be having CJ Stroud out there behind a bad offensive line again. We saw how that ruined their year last year. So yeah, Ian Akor to the Texans makes sense. The next team, 29, are the Chiefs. Chiefs already picked Francis Mauigoa at 9. Copy, paste everything I said before that pick while factoring in that they already got Mauigoa. So the Chiefs with their second pick, this has to be corner. It has to be corner. What? KC. So they went offense heavy in this draft. If they leave with KC and Mauigoa, then they will probably have a great offense next year. Oh my goodness. Chargers, Chiefs next year are going to be, it would be a movie. You have 2 good offenses and 2 bad defenses. So I talked about it a little earlier. I'll quickly go through it at the end of the mock draft. But yeah, very interesting move. Why not Ty? Yeah, they're not going Ty Simpson. Avion Terrell or Colton Hood. See, those would be the corner options. Cassius Howell would be the edge option. KC Concepcion to the Chiefs, bro. They would leave this draft with a sick offense and a shit defense if they did this. Okay. Dolphins already took Bane at 11. Copy paste everything I said before that pick, factoring in that they got Bane at 11. Okay. But yeah, I don't see this Spurs game being a close game. But we'll see what happens. Denzel Boston. So they got their receiver. And speaking to what he said about the profile of a team, Denzel Boston is the big physical receiver. Now, I don't necessarily think he's a good player. So I don't think that this is a good pick from that standpoint. But Denzel Boston does cut it as a big physical football player. He is at a position of need because they have just straight wide receiver 4s on their roster right now. So Boston, you know what? Wouldn't be my personal favorite, but I understand the pick. So you got Denzel Boston now at 30. The pick at 31 is the Patriots. Okay. The Patriots will likely to on their Super Bowl appearance. A lot of people suspect they will make a move for AJ Brown, but you can't count on moves that haven't been made. Okay. And win now. Let's see what it says the Patriots are going to do. Based on the way the board broke, I think this should be edge rusher. I think that would be the best move for them. If not, I mean, in theory, I don't actually know. I think the offensive linemen are off the board. Yeah, edge rusher. That makes sense. The offensive linemen are off the board. They're probably moving with the assumption that they're going to get AJ Brown at some point. So they're not going receiver. If it's not offensive line, then it's probably going to be defense. And if it is defense, I think it's not going to be defensive tackle because they have Barmore and Milton Williams. So edge rusher makes sense. The Patriots get Cassius Howell. Yeah, that's the pick at 31. So the last pick in the draft, the Seahawks are absolutely in win now mode off a Super Bowl. Well, you know what? We'll let chat do everything else. We'll let chat cook up everything else. Oh, hell no. Hold on. They should be the pick at 32, not the Chiefs. Hold on. Let me see if it said in the Chiefs write-up that they were banking on getting another player at 32. Oh, no. It was factoring in that they have 32. Hold on. That they don't have 32 here. Okay, that's good. Colton Hood. Okay, no, that makes a ton of sense. They need their Reek Woolen replacement. So the Chiefs the Seahawks get Colton Hood. TJ Parker would replenish Boye Mafe being lost. Peter Woods, I think that would be overkill at defensive tackle. Give me a summary of the 32 picks. And that's it, people. This is our second annual AI-sourced mock draft. So here we have it. I'll leave it on screen and scroll through it slowly for people who want to catch up now. This is how we have it breaking. Obviously, we tried to factor in trades, but it didn't give us a ton of trade options that we liked. So this is what we rolled with. interesting how things broke out. But that's how we have it. Shout out to everybody in here. I'm going to close things out by addressing Dexter Lawrence again. So I think that he's a declining player. He's about to be 29 midseason. He came off his worst year in the NFL. He had an injury-plagued year from the standpoint of he was banged up. He definitely was not knocked up, even if he has a little bit of a belly. He was banged up, but he played 17 games. He played through the injuries. That being said, that's what happens to older football players. As football players get close to 30 and beyond 30, they tend to pick up injuries. So, I mean, I think that's something that the Bengals should be factoring. I think they're going to get a pretty good player, but not elite prime Dexter Lawrence. So I think the value is way too much. I think they paid way too much for him. It's a good trade for the Giants. From a value standpoint, they still need to replace Dexter Lawrence, but they got great value for a player that wanted out. The Bengals, I think, paid too much for a player that's going to help, but not in a way that makes them Super Bowl contenders. Yeah, I think it's a better trade for the Giants than it is for the Bengals. But with that being said, we're going to end the stream here, people. Shout out to everybody who watched live. Make sure you guys hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. I will probably be back Wednesday night to do one final mock draft, and then I'll be back here Thursday. So Wednesday and Thursday will be the next streams. I'll see you guys then. Basketball streams, I'll be back on Monday, and then obviously on Thursday as well. So lots of streaming for everybody here. Make sure you guys hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. I'm going to let Stephen A. Smith send us out. And I will see you guys here on Wednesday. Take care. Peace.
Y'all take it easy. I'm out. Y'all take it easy.